Things Gary does.
It's currently 7 o'clock and everybody else in the office has gone home, but I'm still here. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, sort of, in a minor way. So I've recently had like a strange epiphany. One day I was riding my bike home and I just had this great burst of energy and I was like, oh wow, I feel so good. And I was like riding my bike really fast and I got home and I was like, wow, I feel really good. Maybe I'll like exercise or something. And I was like, whoa! And so I got down and did push-ups and did all sorts of stuff and I was like, well, I'm gonna make dinner at the same time. I made dinner and then after that I was like, oh, I'm gonna read my book. And I just did all these things and it was such a good feeling. And it kind of got me thinking of like, I haven't really felt like that in a while, like I was making a good, like I was doing useful things with my day in a way. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about those things, don't really sound like extremely useful. I mean, necessary maybe, but not useful. Anyway, it just got me onto this thought of like, I'm not taking advantage of my days properly. I'm not sleeping well enough. I'm not exercising with any sort of regularity. I'm eating strange meals at home anyway, and I'm not getting any of my stuff done. That's the biggest one, the little pinky, that's the biggest one. Not getting any of my stuff done. I've had projects I've been working on for literally years. And I've made some good progress and put a sizable amount of work into these things, but I haven't finished a single one. I have not finished a single project in a very, very long time. And that really bothers me. And so I've been thinking about like why that is. Why haven't I completed all these things? It's not for a lack of want to. I've always wanted to do these things, but why haven't I gotten down and done it? And it's easy to say that like, oh, I just haven't had time. I just haven't had, I've been so busy with work. I've been so busy, getting established in New Orleans. I've been so busy, blah, 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 a million excuses, but really that's no excuse at all. There have been so many hours that I've just whittled away doing nothing or preparing to do all these things. That's my worst thing, is I prepare to do all of these great projects of mine. I learn all these different things. I research different structures, work structures and all this stuff, and they are useful, definitely useful, but I just haven't gotten down and done these things. I mean, I did the novel writing month in November and I was so dead set on finishing that. But as soon as that month was over, just nothing. Just nothing. So what it basically amounts to, it seems, is that it's just a lack of focus in a way. A lack of focus. Or maybe it's something else. And so in trying to figure out what that something else might be, maybe there's just something missing in how I'm structuring my life, I decided to do a little research. So this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is the first place I went to in trying to figure out what's wrong with me. So, as you can see, the first thing, physiological safety, love belonging, whoa, esteem, and self-actualization. Those are the steps of Mr. Maslow's pyramid. Now, these are all very sensible, and as I was thinking about it, like, yeah, okay, I can approach it from this way. What are my most base needs? And then just work up from there and more or less structure my days and weeks to fitting all the needs, which will eventually lead me up to the top one, which is creativity, spontaneity, and problem solving, and all those great grand things. So as I'm going up it, I'm like, okay, breathing, food, water, I'm good on those. Sleep, can get that. Homeostasis, fine. Excretion, well, But sex is right there at the bottom. Now, immediately as I've said this, I can immediately assume that everyone's like, oh, well, obviously Gary's not getting any. Which, I think it's odd. I think it's odd. And even beyond that, okay, let's just forget that for right now, but we go up to safety. So security, mind, body, employment, resources, morality, the family, health, property. I think I'm pretty good there. I think I've got that pretty well set up. I mean, I'm away from my family, but whatever. But even up here, love, belonging, friendship, family, sexual intimacy. Now I understand that, sex is a big part of a lot of people's lives. And I understand that intimacy and having a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, is very important to people. But my question is, do you really need it? Do you need it? Now granted, humanity needs it. Humanity needs to continue making babies. I get that. I understand that. I understand, you know, birds and the bees, that kind of thing. Got it. Totally 4th, 5th grade in my mind. But for someone to reach, as Maslow's thing says, for a man or woman to be all that they can be, is it a necessary step for this person to have sexual intimacy? I mean, it could be argued that maybe it's not a constant. Maybe you don't have to constantly have sexual intimacy, but maybe you just have to have it every once in a while, you know. But that's the question. I don't know. As I was going up this list, and I was like, okay, whatever, guy. And I was like, oh, sexual intimacy. Well, I don't really feel like getting into a relationship, and I don't really feel like sleeping around either. I don't know. It's just weird. Long and short of it, I still needed to do a video, and I came across this, and I was like, well, that's an interesting subject to go on. It is about how whether or not Gary needs to have sex in order to finish his projects, which entirely sounds very silly to me right now. So anyway, I totally underestimated the awkwardness of this video as I was making it, and but that's okay. So this is what you're getting, Gary's awkward little talk about whether or not he needs sex in his life to achieve his goals. I haven't a clue how to end this video.
Things done.